Okay, my name's Narai from Smart AV, and our company was started 2 years ago. We manufacture a control surface which has a variety of applications from post-production through broadcast music and live, depending on the engine that it's configured with. The key to the technology is the arc that runs across the top, which looks like a fancy meter bridge, and in fact it is, but it's a lot more than that. It has obviously metering information. It has fader activity indicators, channel numbers, your own handwriting, which appears on the VFD strips down below. It has solo and mute lights. So it gives you basically an overview of the entire mix that you're working on. The key to the technology is this optical touch sensor which runs across the arc. That allows you to do three distinct things that makes a mix much more efficient. Firstly, it allows you to get access to out-of-reach channels. So if, for example, I want to get to channel 63, on a traditional long console, I would do that by moving my chair along the console. In this case, my finger becomes my chair and I can simply touch channel 63, and that channel and all the channels around it appear in front of it. So I can touch anywhere on the console and instantly all the controls change to that channel. That in itself is a very efficient way of moving around, but many times in a mix project you need to access different channels simultaneously, particularly if you're balancing two sounds against each other. So what you can do there is take the system out of chair mode, and now the order that the channels appear in is the order in which I wipe the channels across there. And that lets me balance now two channels that could be on opposite ends of the console. I can also inject any channel into any location, as simple as touching the inject point and moving my finger along the arc. So that's the first area. The second area is being able to modify functions outside of the selected channels that you have in front of you. This is achieved by using what we call arc modifiers, and they modify what will happen when I touch channels on the arc. So for example, if I'm mixing down this end of the console and I need to mute a series of channels up the end, I can simply hold the mute button down, wipe my finger across the arc, and I've muted those channels. I can solo channels in the same way, set channels to unity gain. I can copy an EQ setting, for example, simply by selecting my EQ, holding the memory button, touching the EQ, and pasting them with my finger on the arc. So it's a very fast and efficient way of being able to manipulate channels. The third area is being able to look at channel interrogation. So interrogation is looking at specific parameters on a channel and seeing how they are set across the entire console. I can do that by using the look key or the inject key, which allows me to inject a channel into this slot here. So as I move my finger along the arc, all of the parameters of the channel are injected to this channel and this active panel. So for example, if I'm looking for an auxiliary send level, I simply focus my eye on the one auxiliary one pot as I move along, and I find that the position of the channel that's incorrect. I adjust it, I let go, and this channel automatically returns me to where I was. The entire console is modular and hot swappable, which means that even in the middle of a mix, I can pull a module out, have it repaired, replaced. I can continue mixing and working on the console even while modules are out being replaced and repaired. It also means that I can customize the console, left and right-handedness. I can remove the post panel, add faders in if I'm in a mix. The post panel itself allows me to have 95 user programmable keys, along with their shift and modified friends. There basically gives us nearly 300 programmable keys that hook into the workstation that you're using or the engine that you're using, depending on the application. The system currently interfaces to a series of engines depending on the application. For post-production, we interface with the Pyramix system from Emerging Technologies, with Nuendo from Steinberg. For music applications, we interface again with Nuendo or Cubase, and with Logic from Apple. For our live solution, we interface with the PV engine from, the Nion engine from PV, and for live broadcast applications, we interface with the VADIS frame from Klotz. We also have a HUI interface which allows us to interface to Pro Tools, although the HUI functionality is a limited, it's a subset of the functionality that we have with the well-integrated engines. I think that's about it. Thank you for listening.